What's up, beautiful people of the internet? I'm Kim Witte of WitteArtistry. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. This little Joker makeup is for Mortal Kombat 11 with Warner Brother Games. Thank you guys for working with me. It has been a pleasure, and I'm so excited to do some of your other characters. But the Joker is now a DLC character, so please check him out, give him a play, and stick around for the tutorial. So let's begin. If you like me and like my videos, it would mean the world to me if you became a sponsor on my Patreon page. Seriously, every dollar, every cent, it helps immensely to keep this channel going. Thank you guys so much. All right, I am going to be doing the Joker from Mortal Kombat 11 and kind of mixing it with a bit of Heath Ledger's Joker because he's my fave. I'm going to be painting the shirt on and then using a costume for the jacket. I wanted to make the makeup a little bit more challenging, just personally for myself to paint the shirt on, and I didn't have a shirt that looked even remotely close to the one in MK11. So it's basically just a green polo or a shirt that's like a dress shirt with buttons and the collar and everything, but it's pretty fancy. It's got these like inlaid little swirls in the fabric that are just slightly lighter than the shirt that you can see. So I'm just laying down some green. I am using Mayron and Graftobian for this whole look. I am adding some white into the green to create the separation for the collar. Basically, I'm just laying down green and then adding light green where the collar and the button pieces are going to be, and then just adding more and more white up to the top of the collar where it has like that little bump, a little hill that needs to be highlighted to make it a convincing shirt. And I'm just blending it out. I found that Graftobian works great over other body paints to really have a creamy and smooth blend. Now with a dark green, I think this is Wolf's dark green, I'm outlining the edges of the collar and then sort of blending it towards the rest of the collar. This is just to create the shadow because the shirt recedes in space and is up next to my neck and creates a little shadow. Add some more white, making that collar pop. And blend it on out. And now I'm on to the swirls. So this is just a little bit of white in that green, and I'm creating little curlicues. They kind of look like hearts on one end, like the curlicues curve inward, and then on the other end they curve away from each other. So I guess they're like the little F or just S's that are carved into violins and stuff. It's shaped like that. So fill the whole shirt with those vertical lines of those curlicues. And I decided that I actually needed to extend the shirt because when I moved around, the jacket moved and then you could see my skin. So I ended up extending the green all the way to my bra straps and did it from there. I'm adding a little bit more highlighting onto the collar. And I am just adding a little bit of texture. Honestly, this part was pretty simple. The shirt wasn't as difficult as I thought it would be. So I'm just, you know, chilling. This makeup was really, really chill. Didn't require a lot of thought and I could just act, which is always a lot of fun. The Heath Ledger Joker is my favorite. He's was such an incredible actor. The MK character actually did come out, I think, the 16th of January. So it came out, it's a DLC, so it's a downloadable, playable character for Mortal Kombat 11 by Warner Brothers Games. He looks pretty cool. They did do a redesign because the first one didn't look so hot, but this one looks awesome. All right, moving on to the face. So I'm priming my eyes because I'm going to be creating these smoky eyes and just the overall weatheredness of the Joker with eyeshadow. So right now I'm using a dry brushing technique to lay down the white on my face. I am going to be putting some white on the brush and then wrinkling my face up as much as possible to really get the effect that the paint is worn and it's smudged off without doing so mechanically. because if you do things that are supposed to look organic, like organic weather and how it rubs off, your brain starts to notice patterns in it. So it's better to just apply the white poorly and then wrinkle up your face so all the wrinkles are areas that have less white. Now with some black eyeshadow, I am heavily covering my lids and squinting to make the crow's feet super exaggerated, and you know, just overall I want the shadow to blend out and infect the paint around it. It's a super dirty makeup. It's supposed to look bad, and end up adding too much black on one side, so I'm stippling on some white over that, which is creating the gray smudgy effect. Add more black. I think I was using the Urban Decay Smoked eyeshadow palette, which is like my favorite black of all time. Unfortunately, it's a discontinued palette, which is sad, but I think you can still get the black color individually. All right, onto the mouth. I am using red paint. I think this is Mayron, and I am creating a mouth that's similar to Heath Ledger's Joker while also imitating the MK11 one. Essentially, it's a big smile that has cuts deeply embedded in it and just looks a little off, like it's been smudged or scarred. So I'm using red to create the smile mainly, and then I'm tapping it out with the brush so it blends into the white so it looks worn. And then around the edges of the mouth and in a couple of particular areas, I'm adding a little bit of brown to the red to make it look darker, deeper, and like it's scarred. Smudge around the mouth as well. And then I'm just adding white to the neck and the ears because I hadn't done that yet. Blend it on out, gotta blend the stuff and things. All right, now I'm adding a couple more highlights to the collar because I didn't think it was quite three-dimensional enough. And just rinse and repeat until it looks convincing. And now I'm adding buttons. So this is just with brown, and then I'm adding a highlight with Craftobian peachy colors on top of the buttons. Gotta get those details right. And then I'm outlining the buttons with a little bit of black just so they pop a little bit more. See, adding that little highlight because the buttons are very smooth and reflective. Almost there. So much buttons. Pop on that jacket, and now we're moving on to the hair. I don't have short hair like the character does in MK11, but I figured if I just messed up my hair real good with a bunch of hairspray and then green body paint. I don't actually have green hairspray, unfortunately, but this worked out great because I want my hair to look greasy and gross. So I'm just dabbing the green into the hair and then kind of just fluffing it around, and ended up pinning it back in one spot. So it kind of looked like a feminine Heath Ledger kind of Joker. The more traditional Jokers have the short hair, but Heath Ledger had the longer, stringier kind. Make sure you get that scalp saturated too, but it doesn't have to look perfect because the Joker in lots of the newer interpretations actually paints his hair or dyes his hair instead of having just green hair naturally like the comics sometimes. By the way, which Joker's your favorite and which villain is your favorite from DC, do you know? I always have loved the Joker. And you are all done. This was so much fun, and I did so many silly TikToks with this. If you don't follow me on TikTok, you totally should. My username is the same over there. It's the @WitteArtistry. And you can see all sorts of new and fun and exciting things. I love you guys. I hope you enjoyed this as much as I did. That shirt was a lot of fun to paint, and a lot of people didn't believe in the live stream that it was paint until I removed the jacket. They're like, oh my gosh, I thought it was real. So that was pretty cool. Love you guys. Thank you so much for sticking to the end of this video, guys. I appreciate it more than I can express. And if you ever have any characters that you would like to see, please comment them below, because I know there's so many of you guys out there that requested the Joker, so it had to be done. It's kind of like a mashup between the MK character and then what I can do with my feminine physique, and then also a bit of Heath Ledger because he's my favorite Joker. Huge thank you to Warner Brothers Games for working with me on this. Mortal Kombat has always been one of my favorite games, and it's so cool that you guys are incorporating the Joker into this one. And also, huge shout out to my wonderful Patreon producers. Names. Without you guys, I couldn't make makeups like this or do any of the things that I do. Seriously. So thank you for funding what I do, and thank you for purchasing this costume. You guys are the best, and I will see you in the next video.